Hi, and welcome to the course of Motion Graphics Shape Animations. You will learn how to create amazing motion graphics animations for your projects, or even you can sell this animation on online stocks and earn passive income. I'm already doing this. In this course, you will learn how to create shape animations and you will get instruction how to sell it online. If you will have any difficulties, you can ask me. I will help you and answer to your all questions by this course. If you will not satisfied, you have 30-day money-back guarantee. I wish you the best and looking forward to seeing you inside. Okay, let's begin. At first, create a new composition. We can't do anything on timeline without it. Let's write the shape 1. You can choose your own preset. I will choose my favorite HDTV 1080 25 FPS. Let's write 10 seconds, it's enough for us. Background color maybe black. Now we have 10-second long composition. Let's begin to make shape. There are two ways to create shape. First way is to create from shape tool. To open this tool, press and hold right button on mouse. There is rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star. Or you can choose pen tool and create your own shape. Just draw your shape by clicking. Let's delete it. Let's create rectangle shape. Click and drag to scale shape. By holding shift when you create a rectangle, you will get square. It also works with ellipse. You will get circle. Let's make square like this. Now we create shape 1. When you click on shape layer, you will see on top some parameters. There are fill and stroke. As you can see, here the fill is switched off now. For turning on, press on fill and choose solid color. The gradient also you can choose, but it's using seldom. Press OK. Now it's black. Press on color here and choose white for making it visible. Now we see it filled. By the same way, change color of stroke, something like blue. Now we have stroke. When you opening properties of shape, you will see content and transform. In transform there are simple things like position, anchor point, scale, rotation, and opacity. Okay, let's close it. Let's open contents. We have only rectangle 1 here, because we create only rectangle 1. When we open rectangle, we will see other transform properties. They have some difference. I will explain it later. The fill that we created is also shown here. If we'll click on E to make it invisible, it will also change here. As well as stroke. The rectangle's path we will leave on the following lessons. These properties will be on every shape that we created. They are no different. It is polygon or star. They will be transform and content. Just little different will be on names. At the last minute, there were some properties that we left for later. I will talk about them. When you open shape layer, let's close it. When you open shape layer, There we will see transform, and in the rectangle there is another transform. As I told, there is little different. The difference on skew. We see here two parameters, skew and skew axis. It makes some slanting. You can use it. Let's press Ctrl Z several times to cancel action. And also, as the last lessons, we did not touch the rectangle path. Let's talk about it. There is also size, position, and roundness. If we'll raise the number, it will be looking like circle. Press Ctrl Z. Also, when you are changing any parameters, for example position moving like this, if we will press and hold shift, it will move more. Now let's delete this shape. Go to Tools. There are two figures, polygon and star. They have some more parameters that I will show you now. Let's create star. Drag it here. Open Polystar. Open Path 1. There are some more parameters. For example, points. When we raise points, the corners are increases. Position and rotation are the same. Let's write on point something like 8. There is inner radius. It increases its inner size. We have outer radius. And also roundness. It used very seldom. As well as outer roundness using seldom. Let's delete it. Now I will show you polygon. Drag polygon here. There is some parameters here. We can also increase points. Let's write 8. We can change outer radius. If we will change roundness, we will get abstract figures. For this you can delete fill. Let's change the stroke color. The same blue color may get you bored. On the making shape, you will see the path of shape. You can click here and make it invisible. As you can see now, if we will change roundness, we will see abstract patterns. Let's delete it. Let's create shape with pen tool. By the painting custom shape, if you will just click, you will get direct lines. If I will click, hold and scratch, you will get custom curves. Let's turn off this. As you can see, we made curves. Let's increase stroke. We have in and out of shape. They are sharp. Go to stroke, change line cap to round cap. So you get round cap as well as another side. Now I will show you something new. Create shape with pen tool. Something like this. Press this for making invisible this line. Open content, shape. We will add some new properties here. I will show you the most needed. There is group. I will show you it later. You don't need this because we have it in this panel. Fill stroke gradients also is here. The important side is here. Trim pass and repeater I will show you in the next lessons. Let's begin with easies. Twist, wiggle pass and zigzag. Let's begin with twist. Click on twist. Twist is flexing like this. We can increase angle to change and also change center. It shows the anchor point of flexing. Let's write here 0. By increasing the angle we will get some abstract twistings. It's using seldom. Let's delete it. Now add a wiggle pass. It's making random relief and also it animates them. I will show you as an example. We have size of relief and detail. When we are moving on timeline, we see that it's animated. Also, we have wiggle per second for speed and other parameters we will not use at this lesson. Let's delete the wiggle and zigzag. It's look like wiggle pass, but its relief is not random. Also, it's not animated automatically. We can change here corner to smooth for making smooth peaks. Now I will show you trim path. Best way to learn it is on examples. On trim path we have start and end here. One of them is drawing our path, another one is deleting. Let's make an example. Let's make end to a 0%, add keyframe on 0 second, go to first second, make it 100%. So we got this simple animation. Let's put keyframe on start, on begin put 0%, on first second make 100%. As you can see, we can't see anything here. It's because we put the same numbers on the same timeline. Let's drag start points little forward. So when the end parameter will draw our path, after that the start will delete the path. What we get here? They are opposite to each other. Now this animation looks not so well. Let's select all keyframes and press F9 for making easy ease. Then go to graph editor, select the last keyframes and pull this directional line to the left for making speed curve like this. Let's play back it. It looks more dynamic now. You can make your own speed curve, it depends on your needs. We can select first keyframes. Let's zoom timeline. Select first keyframes and drag the speed curve to the right. Or something like this. Let's play it. I will show you keyframes on the next lesson because it's most important part of any animation. It's not so difficult. I will show you the different. Let's duplicate the shape, press Ctrl D. Let's drag it to the bottom, another one to the top. Let's bring the keyframes of one of them to the previous style without easy ease. Select keyframes, click right bottom of mouse, go to keyframe interpolation, choose liner. Okay, let's play it. This keyframes with curves, this without. You will see that the first one looks better, more dynamic. Okay, let's delete one of them. You can use trim paths with any shape. Let's make, for example, ellipse. Click in empty place. If the shape will selected, the new shape will be in the other. Ctrl Z, click on empty space. Let's rename it to the ellipse. Let's make line invisible by clicking on eye. Open the line content. Duplicate the trim path, press Ctrl C, go to begin of composition, click on ellipse and press Ctrl V. We got same keyframes here. If we put the line of time to the not begin, we will have keyframes there. Ctrl Z, let's see what we get. We got this nice animation. Now I will show you a repeater. Create a new composition. Write name repeater. Two seconds is enough. HDTV 1080 25 FPS. Okay. Let's create a square. Choose rectangle. Press and hold shift when you make square. Let's make it little. No, stroke is too much. 18.6. You can find the stroke also here. Let's decrease it. Write 10. For now it's enough. Close the stroke. Choose selection tool. Let's add repeater. Close the rectangle one. We don't need it now. Go add repeater. As you can see, we add repeater. We got 3 copies. We can open repeater and increase copies. Let's write 6. They are on one line, but we want to make like splash. For this, go to transform of repeater. Repeater has his own transform. First of all, make position 0. Now they are all combined. And change rotation. Let's make it symmetrically. the one full rotation is 360 degree. That's why divide 360 degree to the numbers of copies. Now it will be 60 degree. Now they are combined. Now we will separate them by using anchor point. Something like this. We can increase copies, maybe we can make 9. Also we have to change rotation. Divide 360 degree to 9. It will be 14 degree. As you see, it became symmetrical. Also we should increase anchor point and drag it to the center. Let's animate the shape that we created before. Open content, rectangle. I will quick explain what we want to do. At first, we will combine all of them in one point, then they will fly in different directions like splashed. For this, open rectangle path. Here we have position. We can change positions, they are moving symmetrically. Let's combine them. Now they are together. The number on your position can be different. Play with numbers to combine them. Now go to begin of composition, click on stopwatch to make keyframe. Go to 20 frame and increase value of position. Go to begin of composition again. Let's add keyframes to scale. Write 0 now. Go to 20th frame. Write 100. Let's see what we did. Okay, let's select all keyframes. Press F9. Go to graph editor. Select last keyframes and drag it to the left. Very nice. We also need one thing. We want to see it dissolved at the end. For this, go to begin. Open stroke. Put keyframe when stroke is 10. Go to end, I mean 20 frame, and make it 0. Let's play back. That's much better. Also select these keyframes. Press F9. Go to graph editor and make curve like this. And we get this. I will show you one more thing. We can also add a rotation. Just now, when you will rotate it, it will rotate based on anchor point. If you will rotate it now, it will rotate now, not symmetrical. As you see, it's not on the center. For making it in the center, go to layer, transform, center anchor point in layer content. Choose it. Now it's on the center. Now if we will rotate it, it will rotate symmetrically. Alright, let's go to 0 frame. Put keyframe, go to 20 frame and change numbers. If on your comp it's 0, add about 80-70 degree. You can choose your custom numbers. Just play with numbers to make it. Then select the keyframes, press F9, go to Graph Editor and make curve like this. Very nice. We get some splash. Now you know how to create shapes, parameters, adds on shape and animation. Now let's learn how to use this in different situations. Let's create a new composition. I will make that a little bit quickly because we already know all this. Let's rename it mixed. 5 seconds is enough. Okay. Let's create a shape. Rectangle tool. Press shift for making square. Press and hold shift. Add repeater. Now repeater is inside of rectangle. Let's drag it to outside. You should put it under rectangle. I will explain why we did it. If repeater were inside, the transform can work not correctly. This is rectangle, and all new adds that under it will function it. There's no matter it's repeater or trim path, it have to be under rectangle. Now open the repeater, write maybe 6 copies, go to transform, put position to 0, rotation 60 degree because we have 6 copies, and we got this. Let's reduce the distance a little bit. Go to rectangle path, play with position to get something like this. Now they stay not correct. For fixing, let's rotate it a little bit. That's alright. Now we have rectangle with repeater. For not making the same thing again and again, we can copy it. Let's rename it. Write rectangle. Choose the star. Click on empty place and make a star. Open the properties of rectangle, copy the repeater, press Ctrl C on keyboard, go to star and press Ctrl V. Let's rename it to star for making easy. Press S on keyboard and decrease scale. Click on A and turn off rectangle vision. Now star have parameter of repeater. In this lesson, we will learn how to use different style of animation. Let's create some shapes. Rectangle. Rename it. Write rectangle. Click on empty place and create a circle. Star. Click on empty place and make star. Very nice. Let's select all shapes by pressing Ctrl R and decrease the stroke. Something like this. 20 is enough. Close parameters. rename it circle, and write here star. Now we have 3 shapes. Let's add one simple line. We'll animate it at last. Now let's animate these 3 shapes. Let's separate them. Now the anchor points of each shapes are not on the middle. Let's put every anchor point in the middle of his shape. So one of the ways to do it, you can go and select anchor point tool, press and hold Ctrl and drag it to the center. It will find his middle automatically. Let's do it on each shape. We will animate all of they separately. We want that they will start the animation from one point and splash to different sides. Let's begin. Press on A to make them invisible and left just one shape. Let's leave shape, star, go to selection tool, open the star. At first drag the star to the left side, transform. Let's write to scale 0 and add keyframe. Go to 1 second and increase the scale to 80 maybe. That's enough now. Go to begin of composition, put keyframe on position, go to first second and drag it to the right. Now we have simple animation. We want him to disappear at the 1 second. There are 2 ways to do it. We can use opacity and stroke. I will show you. Go to begin, put opacity keyframe on 100%, go to first second and make it 0. Let's see what we get. Okay, let's select all the keyframes, press F9, go to graph editor, make curve like this, and we got this nice animation. Now we have here position, scale and opacity keyframes. Click at first parameter, press and hold Ctrl and select other properties that have keyframes. Now all keyframes automatically selected. Press Ctrl C and select circle and rectangle and press Ctrl V. Makes them visible. The keyframes are not in the begin of timeline because the time indicator was not at the begin when we pressed Ctrl V. Press Ctrl Z to go back, put the indicator to begin and press Ctrl V. Let's see what we have. Make them visible. We got this. Now they are combined because they have the same position parameters. Let's change the end position. Select that 3 shapes, press U to open all keyframes. Let's go to first second. They are invisible because the opacity is 0, but it's not a barrier for us. Let's change the end position. Start position put on top, little bit top. We need only last keyframe to be changed. That's why select only last keyframe and drag it. You can do it from these parameters or do it manually. I will do manually. Second shape leave in the middle. Third one drag to under. And we got this awesome animation. Okay. Let's select this all. line we will do at the next level. Select these 3 shapes and close parameter. Copy them, press Ctrl D and drag it to above the star. Let's change color for green for seeing difference. Let's zoom the timeline and drag every layer forward 2 frames. I will show you. Leave this layer, it's the first, drag this and also this, every layer like this. Very nice. That's okay. If you want to change position, rotation or scale for all of them, you need to create a null object. If you will change it by separately, you will make a new unwanted keyframe like this. I press Ctrl Z, click right button of the mouse, new null object. Null object is not visible, it helps only when we want to parent some layers. If we will select this all and take this pickwick to the null, then they will depend on null. If we will change rotation of null, all layers will rotate. Also, when we drag position down, they will also go down. So you can make this easily. Also, we can put keyframes on null. I will put keyframe here, and on here we can put something like this. We will get this kind of animation. Also, you can do this, select some shapes and change end position right in the composition panel for making different looking. Now we will learn one more trick on animation. Create a 2-second long composition. Okay, let's create a circle. Select ellipse tool, press and hold shift and make a circle. Make stroke size 200. We need big stroke. As you see, the anchor point is not in the center. Go to layer, transform, center anchor point in layer content. Okay, choose selection tool. Now let's start to animate. Select on shape and press S to open scale properties. Write 0. Create a keyframe in beginning of composition. Go to first second, increase the scale to 100. Let's drag it to the center. Also, we'll animate the stroke. Open stroke parameters. Go to begin of composition. Put keyframe on 200. Go to first second, make stroke 0. Let's see what we get. Okay. Let's select the shape. Press U on keyboard to open all keyframes. Select all keyframes. Press F9. Go to graph editor. Select this and drag it to the left. Let's see what we get. Very nice. Also, for making a new style, you can duplicate it. Pressing Ctrl D several times. Change the position manually on composition panel. Something like this. Then change beginning frame. drag it something like 2 frames forward, and drag also this one for 2 frames. We'll got this looking. Also change the size. We can't do it by pressing S, because this is the scale of all layer and it has his keyframes. But we can do it by this way. Open content, change scale in this transform settings. Also change scale for another circle. Decrease this. Also let's change colors. One of them red, another maybe green, and we got this finally. We already learned all basics of animations. Let's start to make it quickly, little bit. In the end we will get that animation in preview. Let's create a new composition at first. Write in the name line. 3 seconds is enough. I will make it faster than before because we already learned all of this. Let's create a line. Stroke width 20 is enough. Let's add here zigzag. Put here 5 segments and increase the size. Change corner to smooth for better looking. Also smooth the start and end sides. Go to stroke, choose round cap. Okay, let's start to animate it. We need to add trim path for it. Make it 0. Put keyframe in the beginning. Go to second. Increase end parameter to 100. Then go to 10 frames. Put keyframe on start. Then go to 2 seconds and 10 frames and increase start point to 100. Select all this, press F9, go to graph editor, make curve a little bit. Something like this. Okay, very nice. Let's leave this composition and create a new composition. Right here, line repeater. 3 seconds is enough for us now. Let's create a new line shape. Something like this. Stroke width 20 is enough. Let's add a repeater. Now we need 9 copies. Go to transform of repeater, make position 0 from both sides and write in rotation 40. As you see, now it's not symmetrically. Let's fix it. Let's do it from anchor point. Play with this number to get something about this. The numbers can be different. It's okay. Let's add here trim path. Okay. As you see, when we are increasing from 0, it's not giving us the animations that we need. We want it to begin from center and go to the end of borders. Let's make both of them 100 for getting need animation. In the beginning of composition, put keyframe to end parameter, go to 1 second and 10 frames and make it 0. Then go 10 frames put keyframe, then go to 1 second 10 frames forward. You can write here to get a create frame number. Decrease this to 0, select all, press F9, go to graph editor and make curve. What we get? Very nice. We can change curve more. Very nice. Let's fix the edges. Go to stroke. Change butt cap to round cap. In previous lessons, we did this animation. Let's make some changes. Click on line repeater in composition panel. Press Ctrl D to copy. Rename it. Click on right button to rename or just press enter on keyboard. Right here, line repeater zigzag. As we write here the name, we will add zigzag. Click add zigzag. Now let's change zigzag parameters. Decrease segment, increase size. Let's write segment 3. Now we got this kind of animation. It's because zigzag is under repeater and trim path. If we'll put it above, we'll get this. As I told it in previous lessons, under parameters are an effect on parameters that above. Now repeater is effect to all. If zigzag will be under trim path, it will mean that trim path will not be applied on zigzag. Remember this combination for making such kind of animation. Repeater on down, then trim path, then zigzag. Now we have this. Let's change sharp corners. Go to zigzag, change corner to smooth. It's much better. Also, if you want, you can add rotation keyframes. I will show you. Press R on keyboard, click on stopwatch, go to end of animation and change it a little bit. What we get? Okay, but it's not rotate symmetrically because anchor point is not in the center. Let's fix it. Click on shape, go to layer transform, center anchor point in layer content. Now it's look much better. Also, if you want, you can select keyframes, press F9 and change curves on graph editor. Now let's create a new composition. We will animate circle. Name it circle. 3 seconds is enough. Okay. Let's create a circle. Press and hold shift to make circle. Anchor point is not in the middle. Go to layer, transform, center anchor point. Very nice. Let's start to animate it. At first, we will use scale. We will not use the scale of all layer. We will use the scale that is inside of ellipse. In the end, you will understand the reason. Go to begin of composition, write here 0, put keyframe. Go to first second, write the 100% and stroke. Also, in the beginning, write in stroke big number, something like 100. Put keyframe. Go to first second and write here 0. We got this. Now click on shape, press U on keyboard to open all keyframes. Select all, press F9, go to graph editor and make a curve, something like this. Okay, let's see what we get. Excellent. I will explain why we did not use the scale of all layer, because we will duplicate it and we will change the scale of all layers to get different size. Press Ctrl D to duplicate, drag it a little bit. We will press S and change the scale easily. But if there we put keyframes, when we reduce the size, we will get unneeded keyframes. That's why we did it from ellipse parameters. I will press Ctrl Z to go back. Let's duplicate it more and change the sizes. Click on layer, press Ctrl D to duplicate, change size, and make it several times. Something like this. It's okay. Let's change stroke color, put different colors to make it looks better. Let's change every layer separately. This one blue maybe. Very nice. And we got this. Now let's change beginning of each layer on timeline. Increase view size of timeline to see each frames. This is our first second. Let's drag every layer 3 frames forward. After some practice, you will do it automatically. Every layer forward for 3 keyframes. And what we get? It's okay, very nice. At last we got this animation. Let's rename it Circle 1 and create a new composition. Name it Circle 2. Let's close this all except Circle 2. We can open this all when you want. Let's create a new ellipse, something like this. Make stroke size 50 pixels. Very nice. Let's go to layer, transform, center anchor point. Okay. Now let's align it in the center. If you haven't got align column, go to window, align. Okay, let's add here trim path. Okay, let's make it 0, add keyframe, go to 1 second and increase it to 100. Also go to 10th frame, click on stopwatch of start, go to 1 second 10 frames, make it 100%. And we got this. Let's go to stroke and change butt cap to round cap. Close parameters. Click on layer, press U, select all keyframes, press F9, go to graph editor and make curve like this. Very nice. And now let's duplicate it several times and make them less size. Let me show you. Click on layer, press Ctrl D to duplicate, press S. It is 100. Make it 20% less. Make it 80. One more time, Ctrl D, press S, make it 60, and so on. till it will be 20%. And we got this. Very nice. Let's do some more changes. Let's zoom the timeline. Okay. Let's put every layer 4 frames forward. I will show you. Go to force frame and drag it. And 4 frames more, 8 frame, and drag it. And so every of them. You can write frame number here. And 60. Okay. And we got this. That's pretty nice. Also we can little bit rotate them. Select all layers, press R and make them rotate each one for minus 15%. This one minus 50%, this one minus 30, this one minus 45, 60, and so on. What we got? Okay, very nice. Now I will explain you why we did every animation in separate composition. Let's create a new composition. Name it all stuff. Increase duration because all shapes will be there. Let's make it 10 seconds. Okay. Now we have empty composition. The first what you need to do is creating background. If I will just drag that all to the new composition, it will not be looked very nice. But if we'll put a background, click right button in empty side, new, solid, choose solid color. Let's choose this orange color. Solid is on the top now. Let's drag it way down and we got this. We made shapes separately to make it easy to use. Let's put the line way down, select other comp and drag them forward. Line will be first. Drag the line comp to the left. Let's put here. When the line will end, other splashed shapes will start. Drag other comps to the right for starting them later. I will make that I imagine now. You can make it how you want. Do that you imagined. Your result can be much better than this. Just click on them, change duration, size, colors, duplicate them, and so on. I will make something like this. Let's see what we get. Pretty nice. Now let's add a shadow effect. It will look better with shadow effect. Right on effects and presets, drop shadow. Take it and drag it on line. As you see, now there is a shadow. Turn off the effect to see the change. You can change direction, distance, softness and opacity. let's put something like this. You can make it differently. It looks better now. If you can't see the parameters, go to Windows and choose Effect and Preset. Also, if you haven't got Effect Controls panel, go to Window and add it from here. Something here. And there it is. Line. Also, let's duplicate the shadow effect by pressing Ctrl C and select other shapes and press Ctrl V. Let's see what we got. It's okay. Yeah. Also, you can change background color for adding effect. Go to Effects, type there Fill, drag it on background, on solid. By default it will be red. It's red now. And change color. You can put white. I think white is not good. Let's make it some like gray. Looks very nice. Yeah, it's okay. Also, I want to teach you the color selection. It's most important part of motion graphics. For example, there is white side. There is the most saturated part. Try to not use this side because these colors are very saturated. And we call it screaming colors. They makes eyes tired. You should use these sides. By B parameter 18, S parameter also 80. Something from here. Whatever color you use, if blue or red, it's not matter. Try colors from these sides. And when you are creating background, try to adapt it from shape color. You can use gray or white at first. Don't make them also very saturated. I will add one more thing. Now this animation is not fast. Let's choose fast one. Okay, we have this animation. When your animation is fast, select that all. I will show you. We have here motion blur. Click here and enable it from here. Let's see the difference. You will understand it on examples. It makes some blur of motion, as you can see. If you will turn off, you will see the difference. We need it because naturally when something moving fast, our eyes will see the edges blurry. If you can't see this button, switch it from here or use toggle switch mode. After you pressed it, you have to enable it from here. In this lecture, I will show you how to export our composition as a video file. Let's choose one of our composition. For example, old stuff. We have this. The duration of composition is controlling with this area. You can increase and decrease it. Now our composition is 10 seconds. But if I will put the array to 7 seconds, it will render only this interval. If I will decrease the area, it also will render only that area. Let's put it on 6 seconds and 14 frame. For rendering, press Ctrl M So you will add that composition on render queue. Let's begin from output model settings. I will show you the main things. If composition have sound or any audio, it will show here. Here you can crop or resize it, but it's not necessary to do. Try to not do it if it's not needed. Then open formats. I advise you to choose QuickTime format. QuickTime have codecs. Let me show you. Go to format options. Now I have here H264. You can choose other codecs. As a second variant, you can choose animation codec. The video with this codec will have huge size, very huge size, but quality will be the best. And H264 is a simple MP4 video codec. There's many codecs, but other codecs I never needed to use. I will choose H264, press OK. We have two channels here, RGB and alpha. You can choose RGB plus alpha only in animation codec. I will show you it later at the end. Here is output to model. It will show you the render destination. Here is render settings. I recommend you not to touch it. There is quality, there is frame rate. You can write your frame rate here, but you don't need it because you can do it when you're creating a composition. Okay, let me show you the alpha. Go to circle 2, click on toggle transparency grid. It's showing us that there is no background. But on all stuff, composition will not see alpha background because we already have this background solid. But on other comps, we will see alpha because there is no background. You can press Ctrl M to add it to render queue. Go to output model, choose QuickTime, choose codec animation. Okay. Now you can choose the RGB plus alpha, and it will render video without background color. You will get only the shape that you did after rendering. You will be able to put it on your other videos like overlay in any video program. Then click on render. That's all.